start to shut off fairly soon. So a nice valuable pickup coming on through. And on that south side, they do need to march further north. DXavier moved in, but they only managed to get through with 3. They did lose 1 on that approach, which is further north still of that southern blockade by ThunderTalk.
I think I'm mostly looking over towards Kara and the arena right now, what they're going to do next, because they absolutely have to get in, but they're cut out by that Eastern Road, and you've got Alter Ego to look at. Regnum Kaya probably challenging out for this position. ThunderTalk need to come through here as well. Vampire tried to wrap up over towards that northwest side, but they've come into contact now with Alpha 7.
That is a pretty fearsome thing to see. King scouting it out. Vampire, as you said, on that wide swing. King trying to track them. Damage dealt both ways, and that's going to allow Vampire to access around that more eastern side of the approach. The smokes on towards Alpha 7's position. They're putting them out, but they do cover those sightlines towards some of the rotations. Tony K going bold on the peak. There's a nade finding its way on through, just about to go off. Half a second, doesn't quite connect. The hop through is a little bit stronger there. There may still be a few littering the ground, but they're exchanging. Vampire have managed to skirt this one.
Some initial great shots over towards Skir as well, who is the main sightline over towards Vampire at the beginning. So getting him fairly low did mean the rest of Vampire could move up. Now Red Bull's going to make a move here over towards the rest of the team. But he's skirting very, very wide, so he should be okay. But this is a frustrating aspect of the match now for Alpha 7, because realistically you want to hold that angle. With Vampire getting up here, makes your life very, very difficult, because you ever want to leave from here, you want to try and take a peek out towards the east side of the circle, which is probably more important to Alpha 7 right now. You have to cut through Vampire.
It's not ideal. On that southwest side, Kara fighting off on the eastern edge. This is the teams that you were talking about, right? E-Arena and Kara, with ThunderTalk moving up towards the north. Kara are going to try and move first, get ahead of the curve. Sitting not going to be able to find that shot, find that spray down, and off angles suppressing. Is that coming from DXavier? I think it might have been. And Kara get through with 2.
Getting an anchor down as well, right? They've set the post up. The rest of the team now needs to rappel over towards them. Alpha 7, though, looking over towards Vampire. Tony K already down, now flushed out. Carrillo takes an absolute whopper to the face there.
Ooh, and Lazarus spotted as well. That is nasty. Vampire now playing on us too. Both players from Alpha 7 not getting fully knocked there allows them to go for those heals, get those health bars nice and reset. They're looking healthy into this fight. Lazarus nowhere near getting res up here as well, and they're crashing straight on forward. Blank, they want to close this one out, but maybe they've been enough more that they can chew. Grisao getting a little bit crazy with it, and maybe not the optimal moment to do so. Oh dear, that's not what you want to see. Alpha 7 losing 1.
I mean, it looked kind of sick, you know. He stopped up short and then got out the vehicle and let the momentum propel him over the top of Red Bull. Sadly, didn't quite pan out the way he'd like, but I think for Alpha 7, that really does hurt them. And I think that if I was Carrillo, I'd be pretty upset with Guizao right there. You just dropped your team down to 3 for no reason.
Ooh, Carrillo though finds another knock, looks for the last. It's Lazarus to try and rise above. One spray, one nade connects. The shotgun around the edge, just not quite enough firepower there. Revo does go down, but they can look for this res again. The blue zone's moving in, but they've got a little bit more time to play with.
Yeah, super interesting ending here with Kara able to get over towards a little hilltop. You've also got Alter Ego on the northeast side in a compound, Ulf down towards the southwest, who are both fairly safe. You've got Goat as well inside of this, so likely we're going to get towards an end game here with 4 teams at 4 players, which is frightening for some other squads. Xing is just getting lit up by Marcel here. This is the revenge for the shots that were taken earlier.
That is nasty news for ThunderTalk. They were trying to keep themselves under control on the south side, but their move forward has been treacherous. Those emergency cover flares not quite giving them enough cover. They need a little bit more. And AJ now the last to stand, only the one Elim over towards Alpha 7, takes a little volley of fire, but can't really afford to stay out there too long. Alpha 7 trying to move in as well. They are right on the rim of this circle, Blanca. They are just trying to skirt around the edges, try to find any sort of cover that they can. It's really sparse, but that's going to make it a little bit easier. ThunderTalk, though, out in the meantime.
Alter Ego able to find those shots. I'd like to see a step up from Alter Ego today, and already at 9 elims, it's been a fantastic game for them so far. Yesterday, I still think there was a bit of overconfidence coming through, which is crazy considering Alter Ego has multiple times over the course of PMGC got a little overconfident on their splits and were punished because of it. Rosemary, though, doing it again.
It's going pretty well, though. Managed to get that 10th elim. Kara holding their nerve as E-Arena trying to leave the angle. They're harried by Rosemary, slammed straight into the Kara hold, and it is not going well. Sakura trying to find a little slice of this circle under the tree, trying to hide beneath the shade here, but it is a little bit of a nerve-wracking spot. Nobody has to move just yet. Wait for the next circle coming through in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think that when I look at Alter Ego, I think they're a team that loves to take these risks, right? And I think they also understand they're a team that can capitalize and profit off those risks quite a lot. They're not a team that takes a risk and gets 1 or 2 elims. Typically when that happens, they have these big games. So far, this is one of those games with 10 elims in the pocket at the moment. Pretty heavy on the jeans there, but let's see if they can start to break the seams with a couple more elims off the back of this end game.
There are threads that can be picked at in Alter Ego's gameplay. Let's hope they don't unravel here on the approach, because they do need to move. Krypton, though, with a beautiful opener on the nade. Marceau already very low. Layers it on with a second to land as well. More damage being dealt. Lewis is now very low, and Krypton looking to get the healing in. Alva has now been allowed to get up and close. Doesn't have any nades. Neither does Krypton, so they can't put them back on into the mix against Kara. But another step up and goes for the spray down. Connects with Marceau. CEO now trying to challenge. The off angles from E-Arena could come.
No!
Goes straight on over the top, trying to suplex them there. And Alva has to follow it up. It's going well, though. Has to back off the HP low. Alpha 7 chiming in. Krypton with the last chance. And Rosemary says go. But it is not the right time.
Man, I think that Krypton had set that up so well as he walked further and further forward, past where the nades were going over the top of him, stutter stepping his way into a better spot, and then Rosemary just sends it. And again, there is a world there where Rosemary flattens both the players, and it's incredible. But this is what we're working with Alter Ego, is just these parallel worlds where in certain situations, yes, that goes well, but there was a more consistent approach there. And I don't think we had to go for the Doctor Strange approach, honestly.
I mean, it felt like they were really low on utility there. They didn't have the nades really to back up that position anymore.
They had mollies. They had mollies, and that was the perfect spot to start mollying, and then you could have isolated position.
They had that opportunity. It was thrown to the wayside, but 10 elims on the match blank. It's still a good result. They'll still be able to earn points off it, but it could have been bigger. It could have been phenomenal, actually. Getting 10 at this point already. Going further, one can only imagine what they would have found. But it is not to be. Instead, we will turn our eyes to the rest of the lobby. Right now on the roadside, you've got Rectum Kaya, DX Xavier with 3, doing pretty well on their position as well. They don't have any elims just yet, but that's just their MO. That's their modus operandi.
We'll see what DX Xavier is able to do with the rest of this game. It was a tough start for him, though. So this wasn't just a gifted position on the map, and I think they realized potentially they're underlooted, right? They had to come out from the blue. They got the recall beacon in. So I'd love to see how much they've got on board. Finally, the angle is checked. Tony K put into a 1v4 all of a sudden.
Oh, but he gets the first. Doesn't get the second, though. Kara have been a major profiteer of this circle. A nice knot threaded through there, again from Alpha 7, who have managed to keep themselves going with 2 players. Kind of impressive, if you ask me, on that south side. They looked very raggedy in terms of their positioning, in terms of their approaches, but it's cleaned itself up a little bit. They are now together, but the next circle comes on through. Is it going to help them, or is it going to take them away? No, well, you know who it is going to help, though. It's Rondo and DX Xavier are on the map, so, of course, just put them in. Why not?
DX saved by the zone. That's how it goes down.
Oh dear. I don't know if you guys heard that through my mic, but there's an MG3 in play. Maxman very, very excited.
It is my boy Killer Joe.
Hey, he's got ammo.
Well, it's not a lot for an MG3 at least. But it'll keep him going through the end game potentially. Mad Bulls making their way up on their western side. Both teams had to remove themselves from fairly consistent positions on the map. Mad Bulls has been through it this game. Although only on a few elims, they have been in quite a few separate fights where they've decided to disengage and get further into this one.
Nades trying to make space there.
That's a good setup, actually.
This is a really solid place for DX Xavier right now. I mean, there's really not too many teams to worry about. Ulf maybe a bit of a threat here. Alpha 7, though, going to help them on the buffer side. I think Kara probably is the major worry for DXavier, but even then, they got crossfires on the approach. Goat team trying to make their way on up to join Mad Bulls on that ridgeline. Already an excavated divot there for them to line up on towards. They can play it low down, but those divots funnel nades towards you, and an immediate double, followed up by the roll-in. Lemon is big with it and gets that flush. Flip does go down. Killer Joe is still in action, and remember, he's got the MG3.
Honestly, it used to be in the past that we talked about Paragin as this guy who was the paragon of grenades in the game, but for my money is on Lemon these days as that player. I think the nades from Lemon have always been incredible, backed up by the rest of his team. Ooh. Sadly, though, there is some nasty nades going through from Solus at distance, which do cut them down to size.
Ooh, and actually, Killer Joe's still going, but he just trade 1 for 1, and the knock can potentially be rezzed by Regnum Kaya here. That is on their double position. They're playing 2 on 1 right now, so could get rezzed depending on how fast teams roll up, because it is time to roll out. Ulf moving in ahead of the Mad Bulls, not wanting to put too much pressure on, though. They're going to fold back south and see what they can get done down there.
Kara in a horrendous spot. And that just makes life so much harder on that shift on the circle over towards the western side. As soon as Kara had to leave here, they were going to get shredded. Question is by who? DXavier could pick themselves up some nice points, but it has been Alpha 7 who's been sort of the all-seeing eye inside of this lobby so far, being able to pick up points here and there. And even if they haven't been picking up points, they have been causing problems.
They have really been an issue in the fights that they've been engaged with in their spots. Kara, 11 elims though, Blank. This is a good result if you're at the bottom of the tables, but their next move really will be a big test. Marso, 6 of those elims. Lemon landing the shots over towards Silas. That is the solo angle for Regnum Kaya. So unlikely to get res there. I don't think Loxy or Wild's going to want to break out, but if they can get the nades on, maybe they try and confirm for Silas. Spray down for Wild. Connects onto Lemon, immediately going for the flush. And actually Tuka's down as well. Off angles chiming on in. Maybe Silas is looking more and more resable, but the health bar just not agreeing with me.
I don't think they go across towards Silas. He was trying to be the early alarm system for the team, which is totally fair. He goes down, but he does provide that alarm, right? It does glare. This is what I was talking about Kara. It was a matter of time for them. They were never leaving that spot in the first place. I like the wrap they went for on the north side. It was one of the few options left. I think some teams won't even think about doing that. And DXavier is able to find Alpha 7 as they attempt to crawl up.
I mean, this is nuts that this has happened again. Ulf actually get one of those points over towards Alpha 7. I think DXavier may be on 1 elim right now, Blank. It could be the minimalistic approach to a rondo that we saw from them yesterday. They're trying to beat their own record.
I don't need any more than that. All right, you get yourself a 13-point game here on rondo. Pushes you up the leaderboard. You're in first place, so you're just creating more and more of a buffer. Exactly, is the fortune that you're given by being towards the top of the lobby. You can play a little bit slower, but these nades so far have been pretty mean from Ulf. Quick pulls out the M79, creates a small cloud of support there.
Turkish tag team right now over towards DXavier. Trying to get the line up. Loxy looks for the shots, but has to fade back on in. The final circle closing, and Ulf have got the center. Regnum Kaya with 2, Ulf with 3. DXavier now losing one of their players down on 2 as well.
Let's see what Regnum Kaya can get done here. As an experienced team, it's not out of the question that they hit the 2v3. Wild has been really stepping up. I'm very, very proud of the guy over the course of this tournament.
They did, remember, lose Zed very early into this match, Blake.
Okay.
He's going to reposition the vehicle there. Tactfully. Nicely found.
That's on target.
Ooh, a big nade comes through for DRX, and another knock comes through as well. Nadesy steps up for 2. A big pickup towards Ulf, and they're going to lose one of them. The question is who's getting these points. I think he's going to go for that flush, but Regnum Kaya now trying to rip across this high ground and take the center of the circle away. It's going to work out, and Scarface now trapped behind the vehicle. He's not even going to go for it. He's looking for the denial here. He's got the jammer pack on. Still trying to utilize those impactful plays, but Wild goes down on the high ground. Loxy rolls in. He steps out. He doesn't go for the vehicle. No, he goes for another with a shotgun. And Loxy cannot find it. It's DXavier to rebuff his advances. He will be forced to go down here. Regnum Kaya fall, and now Scarface in a 1v1.
Parajin looking to finish off the game strong at the start of the day. A great spray down, finds 70% of the HP, has to duck into a crater now. And it's Parajin behind the tree, looks to move up. He's not going to let him go for the heal.
Stepping up, and it's going to be the joust to go for the final moments. Ulf, run them through. A DX Xavier denied. No pacifistic play here. The Wolves are out.
You get yourself a 6 point off that one for the second place. But to be quite frank, for Ulf there, a pretty damn good game overall. I was happy with the way they played it out. It was slow, but steady.
Nicely done there. A lot of interesting dynamics unfolding during that match. The passive play not working out for DX Xavier the same way as it did yesterday, but they still get points onto their card. They will add 10, I believe, to their total tally. It nearly went incredibly well for Loxy there as well.
It did.
He nearly lived up to the name.
If he hadn't have got out the vehicle as early as he did, he would have instant knocked Nate, which might have made it slightly different towards there. And he was struggling to play around that angle. Again, the nerves do get to you. The nerves do get to you. Let's head back on over to the desk.
And it's Ulf to win the first rondo here in day number 2. And that is how you get it done. I'll tell you what, this squad, they pulled out every trick in the book to win this one.
And the good trick at the end there for Scarface was the jammer pack, allowing him to stay out in the blue for just a little bit longer, pushing Regnum out of position, having to fight the Xavier, meaning he can survive down to a solo, even has time to go for the first aid here, 7. And take the 1v1 at the end. That was unexpected for me. Playing center, though, early on was the right approach for the side of Ulf.
There's two things that are certain so far this PMGC, especially in the grand finals, in Rondo. We're going to be getting those amazing hot drops, and DX somehow is going to find themselves a way to get into podium, because that team, oh my goodness, they didn't have to move a single finger for up to 60 minutes, but I mean, we gotta talk about Scarface. 4 eliminations, Max, 727 damage.
I gotta say, for Ulf, not just Scarface, like Scarface had an amazing finish, able to win the game, like massive props. This is one of the first games where I'm like, a team is using the M79, which is the smoke grenade launcher, to its full potential. That M79 alone, the double, kept them alive and denied the angles from the Xavier. They don't have the M79 this game. I do believe Ulf make it to top 4 only.
Yeah, and something that I like about Ulf as well was the way that they were able to use their grenades up against Mad Bulls. Even though Mad Bulls was currently focused on a completely different team, I think that kind of gave the opening even more to Ulf to just have more freedom there towards the Northwest.
I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm in love with Rondo. It's so crazy. I mean, just seeing every little trick being used. The terraforming was on point. The M79s, man, that is how you get it done right there. But you know what? I want to go back to what you were talking about, 7, when it comes to DX Xavier. 7 matches so far, guys. They have gotten a top 4 out of 6 of them so far.
I mean, it's at what point do we stop saying it's Slug? That is the #1 rank pushing team out there for everybody calling them that, because that's exactly how this team is playing. They find themselves a way towards to get early into the circle, and then after that, I feels like they just keep getting blessed. And this was a perfect example of that. I mean, I said it earlier, after 60 minutes of really not having to do anything, it was the timing. I gotta give props to this team because they do something really well, and it's the timing that they're able to find a way into the center of that circle. They were able to split Alpha 7. They didn't even have an engagement, and they found themselves the perfect location.
Yeah, they created some dips with a few grenades too. I think they used C4s a little bit early on that game, put down some cover flares, though actually there's been so many big cover flare plays this entirety of this match so far for Rondo. Though as we look at some of the replays, yeah, actually APG getting absolutely demolished, not only by D plus Kia, but also there was the off angle from GOAT team, which was kind of rough though. Alpha 7 versus Vampire. Huizao jumping out the car a little bit too quickly there, 7.
Are you trying to trigger me right now?
Yes.
Is that what's going on right now?
You got me.
Because, boy, you definitely got me, Gisao. You send the hook out there, and I definitely been into it. It was just confusing for him to fully send it like that. And you can see the emotion right there from Rosemary before we even continue on with the information there from Alpha 7. Rosemary had a pop-off. You know what? Let's switch focus, Max, because that team My goodness, the way that they were playing, they were being aggressive, and this is completely different for Alter Ego than what we have seen out of them in the past when it comes down to Rondo, being more aggressive and hunting people down.
Yeah, they barely made it to the late game. Rosemary, you talked about him. They were just chasing down players pretty much.